too late. We're live.
Oh, we're live. There's me saying, "Are you ready?" Yeah, of course, Kurt is ready.
Yeah,
he was born ready.
So, good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 31 of At Home with the Fishers, or Home with the Fishers, as it is up there.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Right, okay.
Starring me, Nicola, and Chris Fisher, RPT, and we have Kurt, who is borg3d online. So we're really pleased to welcome Kurt, and we shall be chatting to him for Make a Monday. So let me just let me just welcome everybody.
Yeah, good evening, Kurt.
Hey, thank you very much for having me over. I've been looking forward to this.
No, it's our pleasure. Yeah, and I had a brilliant chat with Kurt at Maker Central this year. We're talking for ages, having a drink. So anyway, more of that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just say hello to Valerie Gilbert, Maple Tree Studios.
Hello, everyone.
Andy Pugh.
Hello.
Christina Michael Heseltine.
Good evening.
The Flaming Turner.
Hello.
Leona Fay.
Hi there.
Ian's blog.
Ooh.
Yeah, so welcome everybody.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Hi Nicola.
Hi Chris.
Yeah.
And Bamba's down here.
Yeah, Bamba's down.
He's finally settled down. He's been up and down the stairs like a yo-yo, but he's finally settled down. So Kurt, it's a pleasure to have you here. We've been having a nice chat for the past half hour. So there's quite a few things that I think we shall revisit during our conversation.
Indeed.
So let's open.
Well, in fact, can I just say, Kurt, tell everyone where you're from and where you're joining us from.
So I'm from Malta. Whoever doesn't know where Malta is, it's just a tiny island in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, just south of Sicily. But we're Maltese people, and yeah, I mean, I'm from the very sunny island of Malta, where it's usually summer every day, except today, where it's pouring with rain.
Yeah. I've got a question.
Go ahead.
People from Malta, what are they known as?
What do you mean, Maltese? You mean?
Yeah,
Maltese.
Maltese.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you thinking Maltesers?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Forgive her. It's
okay. We get that a lot.
It's the favourite chocolate, funnily enough, Maltesers.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the Maltese.
Maltese. Okay.
It is a beautiful country. I'm sure lots of people that are going to listen to this or are listening have been. I've been. 1981. It is fascinating. If you ever get the chance to go to Malta and you love your history, check it out. It's only a 3-hour something flight, we were saying. So you can be there in no time. Take your cameras, have a good walk around. Filled with history and archaeology. Fascinating place. And like Kurt says, it rains very little there.
That's good.
Apparently.
Yeah. It's usually very warm. Yeah. And whoever comes to Malta is more than welcome to, message and share a beer. Always welcome.
There you go. Lovely island. Anyway, that's the travel agent bit done.
Okay.
There you go.
So, Kurt, tell us first of all, why do you make?
Good question. I think I make because I really get, the enjoyment out of it. Most of the time, I do make stuff because I need things. But I think mostly nowadays I just make because it's fun. It's a way to relax after, a week's worth of work sitting at a desk, which is interesting in its own way. But, you miss working with your own two hands. So.
Yeah. So what sorts of things are you making? Some leather work that you've been doing, which is lovely.
Yeah, recently it's been a lot of leather working, which is very therapeutic, I think. But I do all sorts of things. I'm not exclusively working on leather. I also work on wood. I work with my 3D printer, which is right here. You can't see it in camera, but it's my little kid. I have a 3D printer. I try to work with different materials, but really recently it's been a lot of leather working. Just satisfying to work with.
So what got you into working with leather?
I think the first thing that got me in working with leather probably was watching YouTube videos like Dark Horse Workshop. He's this Canadian guy known as Magnus. He makes brilliant stuff, like it's crazy brilliant. Anyone should go and watch him. He's amazing. But I've also watched some other YouTube channels that worked with leather, like Nerd Forge. We're doing a lot of books at one point. It's very interesting to watch bookbinding. I think those two were the two prominent channels that got me into leatherworking, to be honest. But other than that, it's the material itself. I bought a small piece of leather to try it out. I bought some cheap tools, and I think it was the material itself that really made me, fall in love with it.
I'm going to sneeze, I think.
Nicola's going to sneeze at me.
No.
Oh no, she's not. Also, lab. Yeah, and leather. It's it's very warm. It's got a great smell. When you walk into a store and they sell leather coats or bags and wallets and things, it's an amazing smell.
Well, I was saying I've had a few travelers' notebooks made for me. There's quite a big following online, especially on Instagram, of people who are making these covers for travelers' notebooks. It's quite a massive industry, and I've got a few of those. They're really nice, but there's something very, very tactile about leather. And then the idea with these is you sort of use them and let them age and get a few bashes every time you're using it, and it takes on a life of its own. I think that's what's nice about different.
I mean, leather is, first of all, a brilliant material to work with. It's very durable, as you're saying, and it can really withstand a lot of beating, but it ages really well. I mean, as you're saying, and hitting it or sort of nicking it with while using it or stuff like that really gives it character. And it's one of the few materials I think that aging looks nice on. I mean, you can have a nice piece of furniture, but at the end of the day, if it's going to get scratched, it's not going to give it a nice look, at least in my opinion. But scratches on leather just make it look aged and worn, and there's a certain nice thing about it, really. Leather in general is just a very nice material to work with. When it's wet, it's very easy to mold and very easy to work with, to carve, to stamp. But then when it's dry, it's really tough and durable and really holds its shape. So you can be very versatile with what you do. Yeah.
So have you got a project on the go at the minute, a leather project?
I actually finished two last Saturday. I'm about to start my next one. The last two projects that I made were a leather flask called a Costril. I have them on Instagram. I actually have it right here.
Have a look.
Yeah. You can't see the carving properly because of the camera, but last Saturday I finished making the stopper for it, made out of walnut and cork.
Yeah.
So stopper is really nice. It holds water or liquor, if that's your thing.
Yeah. So what's inside that? If you're going to put liquid in it, is there something inside to hold the liquid, or is it just the leather, or how does that work?
Molten beeswax.
Oh, right.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, so I'm melted beeswax in a pot, in a double boiler, of course, because otherwise it will. I heard it will catch fire. Rather not have that in my parents' kitchen. But so yeah, molten beeswax and just poured in and just sloshed around to make sure that it is sealed properly. And it also helps to have a little bit of extra beeswax, because then when you stopper, it makes a nice seal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't spill any water.
I mean, it's simplicity is genius.
It is,
just to melt some beeswax, and again, you're keeping it so natural and traditional. I'm sure that's that's been used before, but
it looks lovely.
What colour is it?
Is it blue? It looks blue on the.
No, it's actually vegetable tan leather, which is usually tan, but then I dyed it black.
Okay.
So it's all dyed black after water forming and everything.
Right.
And do you get any commissions, Kurt? Do you make things to order, or is it just really for your own
I don't usually do that, to be honest. I did a couple of commissions for a few friends of mine. I have a video on one commission in particular, and sometimes there'll probably be like props from a game or from a movie or something like that, something I can 3D print or model. But I've also had a friend recently who's into these historical, not reenactments, but like fighting in a historical way with weapons and stuff like that, who wants me to make some armor for him made out of leather. We'll see how that pans out. On one hand, I would like to have more commissions, but on the other hand, I know that I really don't have time to properly commit to it. So I can take these commissions from a friend because usually they tell me like a year in advance, and they'll tell me, listen, it's for next year's Comic-Con. So I have like a whole year working towards it. But I've had a few commissions in the past, yeah.
Where do you get your leather from then? Do you get it locally?
It depends. Recently, I found out that there's like a local purveyor of leathers, and he seems to have a good selection for what I need. But mostly, I get like small pieces of Amazon, usually, or eBay. I'm not very happy with the quality of leather that I buy from there because you never know where it's coming from properly. So it's not like you're buying from established retailers. So I would like to get a proper supplier, but it depends. I'm soon running out of leather that I can work with, so my next purchase will probably be from this local supplier and see what kind of things he has in stock. So hopefully I get a steady supply from there.
That's really cool.
It is cool. Very cool.
So we talked a bit about Makers Central, and you've been to Makers Central twice. Obviously, you know, everybody's part of this amazing maker community. And I always ask, what has the maker community given you?
Several things, I would say. First of all, confidence to, you know, make stuff and just share it with others. I'm not particularly shy beyond the camera, but when I'm in front of it, it's very difficult for me to get into it. But the maker community has been so supportive, and sharing whatever we do is very well received with everyone. And even if it looks like, you know, like garbage, if it looks like trash, you'll still find people who say, listen, that looks amazing, but this is what you should do next time. Try this next time. And that supportive community is good. And secondly, I think it was like this feeling of belonging. I've actually told this to a few makers in Maker Central, and everyone has their own workshop and everyone has their own niche. So as makers, we usually tend to work on our own. We don't get a lot of opportunity to collaborate maybe or work together as a team. So the fact that there are events like that, or that there's this kind of community that makes you feel like you belong as part of it, is really good. So I think that feeling of belonging, I think, is one of the most precious things that I got from the maker community.
So tell us about your Maker Central then. What's been the highlight for you going to Maker Central?
Well, apart from meeting all the magnificent people from YouTube and even makers who do not have a YouTube channel, or didn't have a YouTube channel yet, I think the highlight of last May's Maker Central must have been thanks to Molten Make. I don't know. He had his own brew. He made his own beer. He had like his own, I don't know if I'm going to spill any secrets here, but I think it's on his channel now anyway. He had like this speakeasy in his room where he was.
What's that? Bootleg liquor in the hotel room?
Yeah, it's a speakeasy. Yeah, it's like
he had his own bar, and it was amazing. It was amazing. He had a sign on the bar and like put stickers on it and stuff like that. It was really, really good. But it was so much fun. And I think another highlight, I don't know if he's in the chat, but I mentioned him before. Tony, I call him Tony Spark instead of Tony Stark, but he's Sparky. He has his own YouTube channel and makes these really short videos. They're really cute, really good videos. But I met the guy, and he's such a nice guy, and his dream was to meet Laura Kampf. So we made that happen, and he was over the moon, and that was such a good thing. Thanks to Ellen Mayer from Crafts with Ellen, because thanks to her, through her we managed to make the two meet, and I think they had a really nice and long chat together, which was really good.
I think that's one of the nice things about Maker Central. It's meeting people that you admire online, and then you're able to have these conversations with them. And yeah, I mean, if it's someone you really admire, it's pretty special.
It's a lot of fun, and also, you know, because it's a truly, you know, global community.
Yeah,
you know, the maker community, because of Instagram and YouTube and things like that. You know, you can feel. It's like Kurt was saying. You know, you can feel safe and at home. You know, leaving your family and friends thousands of miles away. You know, coming to traveling, you know that you're going to have a great time with friends. And, you know, it's like, flipping it, I've watched your videos for months and months and months, and I can't believe you're here. And we all get that sense of, I can't believe I'm talking to you. And, you know, and it just makes such a great experience for everybody. And we had a very long chat, didn't we, Kurt, in the hotel? And, you know, it's just like, I knew of Kurt, but I'd never spoke to him and never met him. And it's like, hiya, how you doing, Chris? And yeah, it's great. And yeah, he had a pint of beer in his hand then as well. So, but no, it's like, talk to someone at Maker Central or someone from the Maker community. You speak to them, and after 1 minute, you think, I've known this guy for years. And talking, and it's just like, it's one of the best communities going anywhere, isn't it?
That guy, I can't remember what he's called. Spark, is it 315 or 316 or?
I know him. I'm sorry, I always call him Tony Spark.
He had really the reason why I chatted to him was he had this. I think it was an old BT leather tool pouch.
Yeah, I got photos of it because I want to make one for myself eventually.
Yeah, and I was, I mean, I like anything sort of gadgety like that. So that was how I ended up having a chat with him.
Yeah, I mean, Maker Central was such an amazing experience, really. Honestly, for me this year, it was much less about the actual event and more about the after hours, like hanging out in the lobby, like speaking to other makers, getting to know them. And I've got another story from this year, which was after Maker Central had finished. This year, I was in contact with the Claggets from I Like to Make Stuff. So I knew that they were going there. We were chatting a bit. And then, I don't know if I'm going to be revealing anything personal, but they had their flight delayed. So they couldn't go home on Monday. They had to go home on Tuesday. I was there till Tuesday anyway. So Monday morning, we ended up sort of going around Birmingham. We visited the library. It was such a cool experience. And it goes to show that, you know, how everyone is just, you know, human behind the camera. It's like, yeah, we look up to these people and we look up to all these famous YouTubers. But at the end of the day, I mean, they're just like us. They've got their own interests just like us. And it really, you know, emphasizes the human aspect of it all, because, you know, when you're watching someone behind the camera, it's easy to say, you know, yeah, that guy's got it easy, like that guy never has any problems, or his projects always work out. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all human, and it's just, you know, it was a very interesting experience for me.
I think that's why it works so well, because you know, everybody, even though, you know, the likes of Jimmy DeResta, who, you know, we think he's amazing, he's just an ordinary bloke at the end of the day. And I mean, he said to us about, you know, doing YouTube, it has its ups and downs, and you know, just like anything else. And yeah, I think that's why it works so well, though, because people are just normal and
so genuine as well. So genuine, and you know, everyone's got time to talk to someone that comes up, haven't they? You know, unless you know, it's like, can I just have a word? Well, actually, I'm on stage in literally 1 minute, but you know, later, you know. But apart from that, and it's like Kurt's just said, you know, for him, it was the get together in the bar in the evening, which was more important. It's that difficult during the day to really just stand and watch an exhibition, because, you know, we can't do it because we're there. You know, all right, I want to show you this, Chris. You you're either halfway to the stand or you get there and then someone goes, "Hey, hi mate, how you doing?" And you're like, you just end up talking. It's like,
Yeah.
So in a way, we didn't really experience much of the event, did we?
No.
I know I did 6 demonstrations, but in a way, I'm like you, Kurt. It was like, yeah, I've been working all day. I've not really had a chance to go around with Nicola and for Nicola to describe what's going on at every stand. And then you're thinking, oh, you're feeling a bit, oh, I've missed so much. But then you get in the lobby at night, and we said that was more important for us this year to get into the hotel and hang out with our friends.
Yeah. Well, the first year we kind of didn't understand that was going on, did we?
Call it networking if you want to.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, you know, we've all got YouTube channels and we're doing it to inspire and motivate, but to have a degree of success, you know, as well. So in a way, it's hanging out, but you're also networking and you're doing your social media. So in a way, it's not just, you know, 5,000 makers trying to get blind drunk, pun intended. So no, it was very important that after hours drinking.
Yeah. The first year I made a lot of friends, in fact, and if I met Joe Kirchema in the first Maker Central. He's a great guy, love him.
Yeah.
I met him the first Maker Central, and then last September my girlfriend and I visited London, and we met with him. Went over to his place, had tea at his place. It was really good. So yeah, you end up making friends even just not for the sake of YouTubing.
Yeah, a great fan of 3D printing as well, Joe.
Yeah,
that's true.
We would have a lot in common.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, we kind of covered some of this, but you know, of all the things that you make, is there anything in particular that you really love making?
Well, I get a lot of phases. So at the moment it is leather, because I find that at every step of the way, it's satisfying. When you cut it, you get certain satisfaction. When you carve it and then you stamp it, and then maybe you need to wet mold it or something. Every step there's like gratification. But I try to do a lot of different things, like woodworking. I've had some projects for woodworking. I built my own workbench, like many makers have done before. So I think that was one of my, like the 3rd video I ever made, I think. And I also have a 3D printer, as I mentioned. So I do a lot of 3D printing stuff. And recently I've gotten a bit more into resin. I've done resin work before. But I think next year is going to be a bit more focused on resin. Like this year was really leather focused. Next year is going to be a bit more resin. Maybe get it out a bit more, get like a pressure pot for it, stuff like that. Because there's only so much you can do with limited tools. And resin is not very expensive, but it's quite expensive to experiment with.
Yeah.
I mean, wood is usually much cheaper to experiment with. So if you muck something up, it's no big deal. You start over. Resin is
But you can do so much with resin. It's a project. I don't know if you've seen what Joe did. I think he's put it on his YouTube channel. He made this piece of resin with various things in it, and he turned it with Chris. But you know, sort of the scope of what he could do with it was quite amazing.
Yeah, I think one of the highlights of using different materials is sort of learning how they can interact and blend with each other. Sometimes I find that I'm stuck in a mentality where if it's woodworking, I have to work with just wood. If it's 3D printing, I just have to work with 3D printing. But most of the time, the solution to a good project is like merging technologies and material together. For example, 3D print something, make a mold of it, cast out of resin. Like I did 3D printing and resin work, but the end product from a 3D printer wasn't the print itself. So yeah, the same can be done with wood and resin. Like these secret wood ornaments are really cool to see. But this sort of the melding of the materials is very interesting to me, I think, and you can be very creative that way.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So tell us something that the maker community doesn't know about you.
I'm not quite sure because I think I tend to chat a lot about myself.
Everybody says that, don't they?
Probably that I'm a gamer. Apart from being a maker, I enjoy playing video games when I have time nowadays because there isn't much time. But I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of World of Warcraft. In fact,
Oh,
what's
right.
behind me are collector's edition and like figures and stuff like that. But recently, here's a new thing, which I've mentioned before in my videos, but I haven't really spoken about it properly. Recently, I went to Poland and I spent 4 days there, like 4 nights, living in this castle without technology. It was live action role play where,
Oh,
yeah, it was pretty amazing, and I'm so hooked on it that I really can't wait for next year for me to go again. So recently, I've become a bit obsessed with LARPing, as they call it.
Right.
wow.
Well, sort of like real role-playing gaming.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, you basically become a character. They give you a character. I mean, you have a say on what kind of character you want to be. This was inspired by the games and the books called The Witcher, by the Witcher universe. So this very dark, grim, gothic kind of universe, but it was really, really amazing. I met so many amazing people. The group I was with, actually, we're still chatting. Nowadays, a month later, we're still chatting on Facebook, and there's such nice people. You get to know all kinds of people, doing different kinds of things. So yeah.
That's like what they do in the Big Bang Theory.
Well, yeah, I was just actually, as soon as Kurt said the World of Warcraft, I was thinking,
That's Big Bang, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, it's it's just the whole gaming community. Yeah, I mean, Charlie, he plays a lot of Siege, Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh yeah, I used to play with my brother.
Yeah, he's part of sort of like a gaming syndicate, and he's flying one of their group who plays on their team. He's flying to the south of Ireland.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in the second week of December to go and hang out with some of his friends that he plays online gaming with, plays Siege with. So again, it's that tie-in, it's that community, it's that friendships are formed, and hopefully these friendships can last for many, many years, if not forever. So, but you've got Kurt here absolutely chomping at the bit to get back to Poland to get
Yeah,
that does sound
sound
incredible.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
In fact, the things that I made out of leather, these actually I have the drawstring pouch that I did and the costrel, the flask. I made them for some people that I met there, and I have a lot more projects that I want to do for people that I met there because I don't know if well, I think everyone knows about them, like Adam Savage's 10 commandments for making. Ever heard of them?
Yeah, I've listened to Adam Savage's tested channel.
Yeah, one of them is make for others. So I'm only too happy to oblige, as long as I make them anyway.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
No. Well, that's an amazing channel. You can learn a lot from there.
So when you go to this castle, do you have to kind of know the backstory? Because you said it was based around a book.
Yeah, I mean, it's based on several books and several games, video games, but obviously having an idea would just help you blend them better. But there were so many people who had never heard about it before, and were there for the very first time, role-playing even for me, it was my first time live-action role-playing. And the team who organizes it was so professional, so good, and the actors as part of the story, because there are actors as part of the story, and they drive the story forward. And they were amazing. I cannot even describe how good they were. It's just out of this world. But no, you don't need any prior background before that. You just go in and you just blend it right in. You forget that your name is Kurt, and you forget that you're from Malta. You just become this character who's wielding a foam sword and whacking people with it. So
yeah, that's cool.
That sounds amazing.
That's cool. So tell everybody where they can find you online.
Okay, so I have a YouTube channel, borg3d, or borg3d, as it's more commonly known. I have an Instagram page by the same name and a Facebook page by the same name. I post usually most of my projects are posted on Instagram and Facebook because they sort of sync each other up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you find a lot more posts on Instagram. But recently I've taken, not I've taken a break, but I've had a bit of a burnout on YouTube. Like as I was telling Nicola before we started, I hate editing videos. It's a chore. So I'm stuck on this video. Actually, I'm stuck on that Nerf rifle over there that I was modifying, and I think I've been on it for 4 weeks now. Just I can't get it done. But once that is done, hopefully I can get started a bit more on a couple more YouTube videos.
Yeah.
YouTube and Instagram are mostly where you'll find me online. So
Cool.
That's cool. That's really cool. Well, it's been fab having you on. As we always say, you're very welcome to stay with us throughout the rest of the podcast. Or if you need to go, that's fine.
Okay, sure. I can stay.
Cool.
Awesome.
That'd be lovely. Chip in when you like. But thank you very much for being part of our Maker Monday today. It's been really interesting having you on, and especially because you do something that I don't think anybody's come on and said they do leather making, have they?
No,
a lot of them are wood turners, or they're doing things with wood.
Is the first you're the first leather crafter,
Yeah,
and the whole the role playing and
that's cool.
and the LARPing. That I mean, I would, if someone offered me that opportunity, and saying, look, you can come. It doesn't matter that you're blind.
That would be called blarping.
Yeah, blind role play, blurping.
First of all, thank you for having me. But also on this note that you're saying, this is I found it very similar to the community of makers where everyone's just so inclusive. So I can tell you with confidence, if you ever want to LARP, I'm pretty sure that being blind is not a problem.
Yeah. I mean,
you get involved in the story.
Yeah. I'll get involved in the story, and I'm very keen to get those books on audiobook as well if they're out there.
I'm pretty sure they are.
But you're saying it's dark and gothic, and obviously sorcery, I'm guessing, and fantasy.
Yeah.
That's I love that sort of stuff. It's wonderful speaking to you again, Kurt. And it's great to have another Maltese friend in my life, because I grew up with some kids whose parents were Maltese. Very fond memories of Malta. Maltese families, and you're awesome, man. So thank you so much, and hang around and go and get a beer.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers, Kurt. Malta, it's an amazing place.
I do think they should be called Maltesers, though.
No. Let's have a bit of respect.
It is.
Maltesers.
Somebody has asked, Nicola, is Chris going to be at Maker Central 2020?
If it's happening, we'll be there.
Yeah, we don't know the dates yet, though, do we?
No, if Nick and his team put it on, we're there. It's that simple a question to answer, isn't it?
Yeah,
we're there, and Kurt will be there as well. So
yeah, I will be.
So if it happens, whether or not they ask me to do anything, that's who knows. But we'll be there. If we're there, just as drooling. Oh, I can't believe I'm talking to him again. Even if we're there, it's just drooling fans. We're there. So I hope that's answered it, because we're there. I'm already there.
Yeah. So anyway, we didn't have a podcast last week, so we missed a week. I
was off colour, and I had a sinus infection, and I was saying to Kurt that I take high strength vitamin C every day, and I have done for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So I generally have for a couple of years escaped a very bad cold or the flu, but I did get a sinus infection. So I was feeling lightheaded and dizzy, and I had, the blockage, behind my forehead, and I wasn't feeling great. I certainly wasn't in the mood for,
Well, you weren't really good on Monday, were you?
No, so I apologise. It's not like me to really be sick like that.
Yeah.
And those high strength vitamin C really do work. So I was saying to people, imagine how ropey I would have been if I hadn't been taking the vitamin C. But yeah, Nicola went out and got me some Sudafed, so I took them for a week. The Vicks Vapor Rub never fails.
Yeah.
Some hot toddies, and yeah, I'm back to normal now. So be afraid. So,
well, it was only us last week. We didn't miss a guest.
No.
It was just us last week. So
no.
So we've got a couple of weeks to catch up on then. So we had Wayne and Henry were here.
Yeah, well, on the podcast they did sort of like just pop in, didn't
they?
Yeah, my older brother Wayne was here, and his son Henry. So yeah, my older brother is older by 18 months. He's an architect, and very clever guy, but you know, he's still as daft as ever, bless him. And he's an associate partner at a architecture practice in Hereford, near Ross-on-Wye, where they live. So yeah, he knows his stuff. Obviously, since he left building college and university, that's all he's ever done. So he's sort of like he leads projects now, and things, but he still does get time to draw. And have you got that little? He drew a picture of he was a really talented artist, well, still is. So I said to him, "Have you still got it?" So I gave him a piece of paper and a pen.
Whoa, that's amazing!
And he drew that in about 3 minutes.
He copied that.
You're joking.
On the table. So he copied the bird on the coaster. Just
with a biro on a notepad. So I said, I've been telling Nicola how an amazing artist you are. I said, can you still draw? Because obviously being an architect, it's very technical, but he was a very gifted artist. So he said, I don't know, don't put me on the spot. So anyway, he drew a little bird in about 3 minutes for Nicola.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he can still draw. Wish I could see it, actually.
Yeah, so I've just got that on my desk.
Yeah, so, yeah, and Henry, who's 9, he's a clever little lad. So, yeah, it was great having him here.
And we went to Blackpool, didn't we, one day?
Yeah, Blackpool. Yeah, so we took Henry in the arcades.
Yeah. Oh, that was funny, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, we did, when you stick all the 2p's in.
Is that like the 2-penny waterfall sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't get Nicola off him. She discovered a new addiction. Yeah.
Like you have to keep doing it until you get something, and they have these cards,
the
tickets for churning out, and then they have these cards that say
everyone knows
your tickets.
Everyone knows the story. You know, you end up spending 30 quid for 1,000 tickets, and that
we only
entitles.
spent about 3 quid.
I know. I'm just saying. You spend a fortune, you get 1,000 tickets, and when you go to exchange your tickets for a gift, you end up with
a bit of tat.
Bloody pencil with a rubber on it. Like, it cost me £30. It's a right scam, but we would have a lot of fun. So Nicola's telling me when to drop my coin.
Yeah.
So
we did them together, didn't we?
Yeah. So
you were on one side, I was on the other.
Yeah. So Nicola's saying now, so I'm letting go of the coin. Yeah. We won a few tickets. So we went there and we had fish and chips and had a walk around and a bit of street art. So with that, what else has happened?
You had a class on the Saturday.
Oh yes. Oh, I didn't know we were going to get to that part so fast. Yes. Anyway, Valerie. She's still here.
I believe she was in the chat earlier, so I believe she's still around.
Yes, I had a student not Saturday, just gone, the one before. Valerie, who's a wheelchair user, so she's got a disability, and she wanted to have a lesson with a professional woodturner for quite a while. Valerie and her husband Wayne, they're both woodturners, but Valerie has only really used carbide, so she wanted a day learning traditional tool techniques and bevel contact and roughing out safely, and so we're doing spindle turning really in the morning, and it was an absolute pleasure to have Valerie, and she she listened so well to the instruction, and she was loving it, and the quality of her work, considering it was the first time she'd ever, held a roughing gouge or a spindle gouge. Literally, if they were pieces that she was going to, do for a commission, or hardly any sanding was needed. Obviously, I'd sharpened the tools before she arrived, so they were very sharp. But yeah, she did amazingly well. No catches, no scary moments. A couple of moments just where, the tool was skating across. But, no catches. So we started doing beads and coves and getting them gradually smaller. And then she was able to do very thin beads of only, a millimetre or two wide, with great control and finesse. She's been turning a lot of Christmas trees.
Yeah, she's done a Christmas tree this past week.
Yeah,
really nice. I think it's about 10 inches tall. It's quite a big one.
Was it a Spalty Beach one? Or was it
I'm
Spalted
sure.
something? But anyway, Valerie
Spalted.
she did amazingly well. And, obviously I can't see what she's doing, but I can hear everything she's doing. And, she was she brought her perch stool. So we were making sure that every 10-15 minutes she had a rest, because she was in a bit of pain then. And the day went really well. It was epic. She learned so much. She had a great time. And apparently, she's you can't get her off the lathe now. And
well, she says she's going to buy a gouge at Harrogate.
Yeah.
It was a Spalted Beach Christmas tree. And it looks about 10 inches tall.
Right. Okay.
And it's got 3, in and out bits.
Yeah, I think that was on your Instagram, right? I think you shared that.
Yeah. But no, she did so well, and she should be very proud of a newfound skill. So yeah, you just keep doing what you're doing, Valerie, having fun, being safe, and putting the hours in.
Yeah.
You know what to do now. Just progress. And no, it was brilliant. It was a really good day. And obviously Wayne was here, and he went off and left her to it, so he wasn't, distracting or anything. So no, it was a really cool day. So she knows what to do now with traditional tools. So that was cool. Job done. Success.
Yeah. You did an RNIB interview.
Yes, RNIB, the Royal National Institute for the Blind. So the lady that interviewed me was called Emma, who's blind. She works for the RNIB, and she was assisted at their end through the RNIB offices. She was assisted by her support worker, Matt, who I think had been working for her for about 3 weeks.
All right.
So it was a new partnership, a new team, and he's loving it. And, he's absolutely amazed by, his job and being around visually impaired people and what they're able to do. So yeah, it was an interview. Sort of like RNIB stories, how I lost my sight, what made me lose my sight, the anxiety, the period of readjustment and rehabilitation, and being sick with it, and learning to wood turn and YouTube. So that was a really cool interview, and I enjoyed that. Yeah, they're a really nice team there at the RNIB, and help support. There's a few great organisations out there that support the blind. You've got the Royal National Institute for the Blind, Henshaw Society, Galloway's. There's quite a few very big charities in the UK for people living with sight loss. So that was very good.
And then we went to Derbyshire on Thursday.
And we've had Henshaws here doing another story.
Oh yeah, that was Wayne and Henry were here. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Henshaw Society for the Blind came round and did another story. But that was not really about me and the workshop. It wasn't so much about Chris Fisher, the woodturner. It was more about Chris Fisher, the blind person.
Right.
So I've done 2 interviews in the past 2 weeks, and they're very interesting and fun to do. And I don't mind sharing my story, even the very dark parts of it. There's another blind joke. So yeah, but if it gives hope to people that are going through sight loss, it's worth doing it 1,000 times, just so people know, they don't have to give up, and there's people there to help them, friends, family, and professional bodies.
Well, we went to Derbyshire as well, didn't we? Because we had an event on in the evening. But it was last Thursday, and it was absolutely throwing it down. And we got to the place where this event was on, and we went in the pub for a drink. But before we went in, I could hear the stream, the river, whatever this waterway was, and it was absolutely just rushing by.
It
Breached the banks.
Yeah.
It was I don't know what it was. Let's call it a river. It was sort of right up to the buildings. So outside the buildings was like a flagged path, but the water was just kept going over the path. So it was about 3 inches below the bottom of the door. But I was just fascinated by it because I'd never seen water moving that fast. And it was just absolutely whizzing. It was just amazing. So before we went in, I went and had a look at it. And then after the evening, I went to have another look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just sort of going over this path. And I don't know whether they got flooded, but in a way, and I know, lots of people were flooded. It was quite impressive watching this water, the power of it and the speed. It was quite awesome.
And we're going to, obviously, our house is up for sale. We're moving to Derbyshire. So stay tuned, folks, for a new channel coming, the Blind Frogman, Blind Kayaker, or something related to drowning. Anyway, yeah. Well, if anyone wants to buy me something for Christmas, I'll have a dry suit, please.
Maybe they can make a community camp, build you one of those old, scuba diving suits with the big brass dome head.
Oh yeah, that would look good with that. Yeah. So, we went through quite a few flooded roads.
Yeah, we did. Time. Yeah, it was really bad, and I know somebody whose house was nearly flooded as well. So it was really serious, but it was quite a sight to behold as well.
Well, this is I think you've got, wow, look at that, that's amazing.
I know,
that's it, and the gone,
I know.
Swept away.
Yeah, I was quite a way away from it.
Yeah, well, I was on the other side of that car park. You weren't getting me near that.
So anyway, that evening we were talking about this new podcast, The Rediscovery of Me, that you were episode 1 of.
Yeah, I was the guest for episode 1, The Rediscovery of Me, you.
Yeah.
And it's all about people that have gone through life-changing transitions and come out the other side for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So you and I were guest speakers at the launch party for Holly Hartley, who's doing the podcast, a award-winning teacher. That's her foundation is in geography, but
she's been a head teacher, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's been an award-winning principal, headmistress, whatever you want to call it, and she's turned quite poor, failing schools completely around and made them into really, really fine schools. So yeah, she'd asked me to. So we were there with a few other podcast guests.
Yeah.
There was Hazel, who's a amputee after a motorcycle accident, and now she's number 5 in the world, Paralympic archer. So yeah, some guy cut her up on a motorcycle. She's doing just under 70 miles an hour. Flew into the central reservation on the motorway. One leg was amputated below the knee, and then the other one, because I had a feel,
had a shark,
looks like a shark's mauled it, so she very nearly lost both legs. So yeah, she's a Paralympic archer. And there was Chris, who's is into food now. Feasts for Friends, I think he was. So that was a very interesting evening. So we got up and spoke about how we got into podcasting and how it's helped us.
We spoke about this podcast, didn't we?
Of course we did, and, you gave your technical... Nicola's just kicked me under the table here for some strange reason.
sitting, I just moved my leg.
So yeah, and you were telling people about the technical side, and you know, really, what if you know what you're doing, you know how simple it can be to get up and running.
Yeah, I think there's lots of different ways of doing podcasts, and some of it can be quite expensive. But I mean, the way we do it, this doesn't cost anything. So it's I just find it quite interesting how there can be so many different approaches with technology. So yeah, we keep it quite simple doing this one. But you know, it works, it does it, and
well, you're enjoying this new, what's it called, the app or whatever.
Anchor.
No, this that we're doing.
Oh, StreamYard.
StreamYard.
Yeah.
You think it's quite good, don't you?
Yeah, it seems to be really fine. Again, this is free. You have a little logo in the top right hand corner, powered by StreamYard. But you know, if you're listening to this on as an audio podcast,
it's nice and clear, isn't it?
It doesn't really matter. So it was a good night.
Can I just say that how it's really inspiring to see people like that who go through these hardships, and instead of letting that hardship define them, they just, you know, they become you know, even better than they maybe they were before. But it's inspiring to hear of an amputee who becomes like the fifth rank Olympic archer, or like people like you, Chris, for example, who go blind and do wood turning, and what you do is amazing. So I think I speak for a lot of people that, you know, people like you are very, you know, they inspire us to be better, because it's very easy for us to get sort of, you know, all caught up in our daily lives and say, like, have a bad day and it's like the end of the world. But you get to realize that, you know, you can always be so much better than you are already. So, and people like you really inspire that kind of mentality, I think. So,
well, thanks for saying that, and we do appreciate that. And it's like I've said to people, you know, people might say, oh, we're having a bad day because the car broke down or the kids are sick. You know, just stick with it, you know, and in the scheme of things, it's not a bad day. It's been a challenging day, and it might have been, you know, you might have got a bit angry at someone and things like that. But, you know, it's not a bad day. I can tell you what a bad day is like. And funnily enough, Hazel, the lady that lost her leg and is now, you know, this amazing medal-winning Paralympian, she doesn't want her leg back either. You know, I've said I don't want my eyesight back. She said, I'm exactly the same. She said, I don't want my leg back. It's who I am now. I've been through hell and high water to get to where I am. It's defined who I am, and it's who I was meant to be. Exactly the same as what I've said time and time and time again. We go through so much to get to where we are. You know, she doesn't want her leg back. She's quite happy now. Quite happy. So, yeah, that was interesting when she told me that. But, yeah, I know Kurt's right, you know.
But we've said so many times that, you know, I think, obviously I'm not in the same position as you. I don't know. I'm not lived through something like that. But we've said, you've got a choice. You either suck it up and get on with it, or you sit in the chair rocking. And I think, you know, from the people that we've met who have gone through something like Hazel and you, that the reason why they get on and go and do amazing things because they've made that decision just to suck it up and get on with it. And I think, you know, there's at some point there's a choice that you make.
Yeah, and you know, the road to getting to where I am has been very difficult. And you know, I have, you know, all them years of feeling sick and, you know, dare I say it's suicidal the odd time. You know, it's taken many years of really hard work to get to, you know, what I'm doing now. And you know, it's testament to, you know, and you know, hopefully, you know, sort of like a light of hope for others that are going through traumatic times. You know, don't give up, even though you might think I've got no other choice but to give up. No, you have got choices. You know, talk to your friends, you know, find someone to confide in, you know, and don't do it on your own. Talk to someone, get help, you know, don't do it on your own. It's when people think that there's no way out that, you know, they just continue to get, you know, even more distressed by it all. But it's easy. That's easy said. Now I've gone through it all, but at the time, it's like you do feel like, you know, this is something that I can't win, but you do.
I think the good thing about the podcast you did with Holly as well, it's about an hour long. It's really well worth listening to, but she really picked up on the challenges that you went through. She wasn't sort of pussyfooting around, and she asked you the hard questions, and that's why I thought it was really good, because obviously I've heard your story lots and lots of times, and we've talked about stuff, but you know, it's still there were still things that just make you go oof, you know, that you said, and to me that is a job well done.
Yeah,
it's like that BBC one where you say, I don't want my eyesight back. That was another one where she really, Shearer got to the heart of it. And I think that's what makes the difference. That's what makes it so much more interesting is not the right word, but compelling to listen to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's times, I mean, even just in day-to-day life, you know, I can be, you know, dropping things and smashing things and not finding things. But, you know, I could be sat next to Nicola now, and we're here talking, and obviously I can't see her at all. And Nicola could reach out a hand to put a hand on my arm, and it'll make me jump out my skin, because you can't see her arm moving. And, you know, for a split second, you're bloody terrified. And it happens a lot. Nicola could be right next to me, so she'll go, and I go, bloody hell. And people think, yeah, it's, you know, it's funny and it makes us laugh. But, you know, it's really weird. And being blind, I do live in a different world. The blind do live in a different world. And, you know, Nicola can just quite, you know, arbitrarily, you know, nothing meant by it, go to touch me, and I'm bloody terrified. And you're like flipping out, and you go, oh, I'm sorry. It's just, really, you know, it's just,
yeah, I think you touched. I think you touched on a very important point. Sorry, I think you touched on a very important point about support. That nowadays, I mean, there's a support structure for everyone, so it's very important that if you're going through hardships, there's always someone that can help. So I think that's very important for people to realize, because I think when you're, you know, when you're in the thick of it, it always feels like you're alone. No one really is alone, really and truly. I mean, I work in a healthcare sector. I work in a pharmaceutical company, but you get to hear all kinds of stories, and like 75% of the people that would go and visit a pharmacy or a doctor are just, at the end of the day, they just need like social contact or like someone to speak to, rather than actual being, you know, sick. And it goes to show how many people are, you know, afflicted by this feeling that they're isolated. And I can imagine with going through such hardships, how much more that, you know, isolation feeling can be. So, yeah, I mean, there's support for everyone, and it's very important, I think, for people to realize that.
Yeah, you're right. You're so right, Kurt. No one has to be alone these days.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, this isn't any way, you know, a helpline or like, you know, whatever. But yeah, anyone that listening, if you're going through a bad time, or you know, you're yet to go through a bad time and it's just not happened yet, remember these words: don't do it alone. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there anything else?
Harrogate.
Yeah. Okay. Before that, I'm just going to say we're watching John Wick 3.
Oh yeah,
I do like John Wick films.
Yeah, Nicola likes a bit of gratuitous violence. Olympus has fallen, London has fallen, John Wick. But yeah, I am a huge fan. I mean, I love Keanu Reeves, and you know, but John Wick 3 has just come on Netflix.
Yeah, there's a few bits there.
Oh, not Netflix. We've had to rent it on Prime, Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We've just got 30 minutes left of that.
Yeah, and then I've just noticed that Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee's come on Netflix. So I said to Nicola, oh, you like a good punch-up? She's never seen Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon. So I said, you like a good punch-up? Watch Bruce Lee. Give someone a good punch-up. Yeah.
I used to do kickboxing, you see, so...
No.
I'm always, you know, if there's any kickboxing or
Boxing.
bits of boxing, martial arts, I always like that.
Yeah, that's why I do what I'm told, you see, folks. Yeah, Chris, get that made. Shoot that video, Chris. Do that Instagram post. Oh yeah, I've learned how to do Instagram this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much a lot of the Instagram posts that will be coming from now on, that's me screwing them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've changed Chris's bio because it used to say post by me, but now it says some post by me.
Yeah. So I've done a couple of
that's my get out clause.
Yeah, I've done a couple of Instagram, and I did one today preparing the wood blanks for Harrogate.
You're going to do an IGTV, aren't you?
Yeah, Nicola's trained me up on how to do IG. Oh yeah, my phone goes because it's IGTV, and obviously Siri's trying to read everything out. You said, yeah, touch that icon at the top right hand of the screen, and it went iffy. That's So anyway, I know now that I've got to touch the screen and and then I can do an Instagram live. Yeah. So yeah, I know how to do that. I've got to record it first, then go in, and then you add the video to it.
Well, it's not an Instagram live though.
Is that not?
No.
Oh, you see, it's so complexicated. I don't know what I'm doing half the time, but it's good fun trying to mess it up.
Yeah, we'll have to do an Instagram live though, and see if your phone will read out comments.
Oh yeah, I've got a new phone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, I've upgraded now to. I had an iPhone 5 since it came out until 2 weeks ago, and then it really maxed out on all its software updates and everything. I couldn't upgrade. So yeah, it's basically reached its obsolescent time of its life. So I've been and got an iPhone 8 woo with 15 gig of data. Check it out. Christmas Blind Woodturner comes literally screaming in at the 21st century when the iPhone 8's only been out 3 years and I've just got one. I've got my finger on the pulse of technology. Be afraid, folks.
But it is. I mean,
it is an amazing phone.
I did have the iPhone 8.
It is. I mean, for me, it's absolutely chuffing jeans, and you don't have to have it plugged in to tell Siri to do stuff. So I can just be in the workshop turning, and I can just say, "Hey Siri, read that notification out." You know, all our phones are going up here now.
There you go.
So anyway, proof of concept.
Yeah, I've recently been doing a similar thing. I got an Apple Watch recently. Not wearing it, but I got an Apple Watch. And at work, whenever I get a phone call, I always reply. I always get it on my phone, so I'm like a Power Ranger getting a communication from.
Oh, this is it. Science fiction it's here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like especially you being into tech, and Nicola as well, and it's like sci-fi. I guess you're into sci-fi films as well, eh?
Yes. Well, yeah. Whenever I have time, I'm not a huge movie buff, but I watch the standard Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel.
Now at work. Hold on, I've got a call. Yeah, it's cool. But iPhone. That's they're very good for the blind as well. But I've just upgraded to a new phone, so I'm very happy with it.
But the amount of data you've got, that's really good.
Which is going to come in handy when we're like at Harrogate this weekend. I've got a lot more data on my phone than Nicola. Nicola's just bought a new iPhone 11.
Yeah, I've only got 5 on mine.
Peasant.
I know. Probably. I've honestly not got much left.
Only got 5 gig. So Nicola's going to be using my phone at Harrogate.
Yeah, I've got 4.37 gig left.
So,
think of all the Instagram posts.
I know, that's what we're thinking.
So we can use some data.
But yeah, it'd be really good that.
Anyway, Harrogate. Are we on to that?
Harrogate. Yeah, Harrogate. Go on, Harrogate.
Yeah, so I've been in the workshop today preparing some blanks. A couple of bowl blanks. I've got them onto face plates. I did an Instagram post about that. Yeah. Mm. So that, and I've got a couple of good picture. Couple of spindle blanks, and they're big spindle blanks as well. They're about 4 inch square. So I'll be taking them. So Harrogate, we go on Thursday because we have to set up on the Tormek stand.
Yeah.
So we're there with Clive and Megan, who are part of Brymark, which is part of Axminster, and Brymark import Tormek into the country and Proxon. So they got in touch with Tormek and Pontus, who's a Swedish Tormek expert who goes around the world demonstrating Tormek. So yeah, I'm on there for 3 days with Tormek, doing a bit of turning, bit of sharpening. Although we have got predetermined sharpening demonstrations by me. So, you know, I'll be doing a bit of touching up first, and then I'll do some turning, and then I'll do some touching up later on in the day. So there is sort of like a set time that people can come and see me use the Tormek and the jigs. And then obviously Clive, Megan and Pontus are there to take any technical questions, you know, do any sales that they need to. So it's going to be really cool, and hanging out with all our friends. Yeah, so that's this weekend.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday and Sunday. North of England Showground, Harrogate. Should be a giggle.
Yeah.
I'm going to be absolutely knackered. It'll be a giggle. Be fun while I'm there, and then, you know, as is the norm, my head will fall off about Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then just sort of like quickly jumping ahead on the 4th of... then we've got Axminster Tools and Machinery Store Devon.
Yeah.
In a week or so after Harrogate. And then my mum and dad that live in Cyprus, they're coming back permanently. 4th of December they land. Yeah, be afraid. Yeah, so my mum's an absolute nut job in her 70s now, mid-70s. So, yeah, my mum and my stepdad. My stepdad's had skin cancer for the past couple of years. And he's had quite a few tumours and skin grafts, but none of it had spread and it isn't terminal, but he's got to get out of the sun. Yeah, so they're coming back to safer weather. That's safe. He's not going to die of cancer, but he might get drowned.
People talking about John Wick. AH Bespoke says John Wick is the best ever. Yeah. Blue Light Turn creating shaving since 2016 has never seen it.
Oh, you need to, Scott.
And AH Bespoke says he's a hardcore hitman.
Yeah.
He is extremely hardcore.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's a lot of fun. I mean, there's like, it must be in the Guinness Book of Records for the most people getting killed in any 2 hour
just
film.
Popping them off, aren't
but
they?
He's pretty much invincible, Keanu Reeves, and he's like, he's nicknamed the Bogeyman. And yeah, you cannot take him out. Whoever comes at him, you're dead.
Yeah.
It's one of those films.
But it's kind of, it's also a bit quirky as well. You know, the bit where they go in the hotel and you can't kill anybody.
Oh, there's an etiquette.
Yeah. Oh, the etiquette. There's sort of a bit of culture around it.
And they're very sophisticated assassins, aren't they? And, you know, and they've got safe houses all over the world, and they can go there and get a new suit lined with Kevlar, and you know, they can get a cache of weapons, and yeah, it's really, they're a lot of fun, and it's great. Me being blind, just sat there listening to, you know, all this automatic gunfire, you know, and you just hear, and it's just like that for 2 hours. But you love them,
yeah,
and we are.
There was just one bit that made me go, ooh.
Oh, with someone getting stabbed in the eye?
Well, yeah, 2 bits then. Yeah, the eye was a bit vivid, but also his finger.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, spoiler alert, sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you've not watched the John Wick trilogy, check them out. They're amazing, amazing action films. Yeah. And even though he's sort of like a hitman assassin, he's sort of like an anti-hero, and you're rooting for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's sort of like the best of the best when it comes to hitmen.
Yeah.
Even the police say, all right, Johnny, you're working tonight. So even the police give him a wide berth.
Yeah.
Epic.
So, gate crasher. Is there anybody out there who would like to gate crash? Now, anybody who's not gate crashed before?
Yeah. We'd open the gates for someone to crash that hasn't crashed the gates before.
Yes. So,
come on, people.
Always goes very quiet at this point.
Yeah, come on, someone come on and say hello to Kurt. Come on. in the
Who's volunteering?
Yeah, come say hello to Kurt. Come on.
I think they've all gone home.
Oh, come on, folks.
Right, I can see there's 15 people watching here. So there must be one of you that would like to gate crash who's not gate crashed before.
Come on, it's very simple. You say you'll do it. Nicola will send you the link. A couple of quick clicks, bada bing, bada boom, and you're here, and nothing to be afraid of. You're amongst friends. Come on. Come on.
So whilst we're waiting for someone to volunteer, have we done anything else? Anything else we've done? I haven't got anything else on my list.
Oh, we went to Astley Hall, which is a...
Oh, yeah, that was nice.
That's a Tudor manor house.
Yeah.
Literally a 5-minute drive. We've got quite a few sort of like old Tudor manor houses, medieval castles around it. Yeah, lovely Tudor property, set in gardens, and Oliver Cromwell stayed there during the Civil War. And a couple of rooms have got priest holes in, haven't they, and things like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and some of the rooms, they weren't massive, but they had the most extraordinary plasterwork on the ceiling. There was one room, and it wasn't, but it looked like sort of skeleton rib cages hanging down. It was supposed to be like a flower kind of thing, but yeah, it was like rib cages. But yeah, it was just really OTT. Oh, Ian, are you going to gate crash? Ian, let me send you the link.
Ooh, well done.
He says it sounds fun, so I'm taking that as a yes.
Come on, Ian. Yeah, you just come and join us for 10 minutes.
Whilst he's joining, he's asked, Kurt, tell us about the wall of toys.
And that's my prop wall, actually. It's on a video on my YouTube channel. And basically, before I had that, all those props were scattered around this room, which is incredibly tiny. This is my bedroom. So I had them on my desk, I had them on the wardrobe, on the floor, on the bed when I wasn't sleeping in it, so they were everywhere. So I said, you know, enough's enough, and I need to clear the room. So I made that prop wall, and those are 3D printed hangers for each and everything that I designed and printed. That's basically just an MDF sheet with French cleats at the back, so I can just hang it easily. But I've got some of the props that I made. Some of the guns that are there behind me, the smaller ones especially, are either 3D printed or I designed them myself. A couple of Nerf modifications, a couple of projects like Thor's hammer right above my head. There's Thor's hammer and Doctor Strange's eye, and my lightsaber, of course, because every nerd needs to have a lightsaber. So yeah, that's my wall of toys. Still left some space to add a few things though, so you can never have enough.
Cool.
That sounds good. Well, Ian's here. Can you hear us okay? Ian?
Hey.
Hello.
Whoa, nice t-shirt.
What does it say?
Yes.
Keep on turning.
Whoa.
Yeah, I can hear you all right.
Okay, you sound a little bit low.
I have no idea how to turn up.
Okay, all right. Just speak close to your computer. That should be all right. How are you doing?
It's a little bit laggy, but yeah, all good.
Did you have a good Halloween?
Oh yeah, I had a fantastic Halloween. Loads and loads went on outside. We had some holograms all over the garden, which scared the living daylights out of some of the kids, and they were legging it.
Well, that's job done, I would say.
Yes.
So, are you making anything at the minute?
Not at the moment, no. I'm sort of in between a couple of projects. I'm trying to get a couple of projects up and running in December though.
Anything you'd like to share with us? Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, there's a little bit of lag going on, I think.
Okay. So, can you tell us about the projects you're doing? Oh.
And in the meantime, I think Stace wants to join as well.
Okay. Well, do you want to click on the link, Stacey?
He's still there, Ian.
Yeah, it's still there. Just doing something with the computer.
Big hammer. Wow.
Bye, Scott. Have a good evening.
Bye. Bye, Scott.
Oh, that's gone.
Oh, is he gone? Is he back?
No, Stacey's here. Hello.
Hey there.
Hi.
Hiya.
How are you?
Nervous.
Don't be nervous.
It's only us.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's just the Fishers and the Maltese are here, so it's fine.
Yeah. Maltese.
Oh, you've just made
It's not going to catch on.
So, Stace, what are you making at the minute?
I currently have a vote going on at the moment, whether people want to see my next video or the video after, a segmented bowl or an ash bowl.
All right, cool. So
I'm still quite sorry.
Are you turning these?
Yeah, I'm still quite new to it all, to be honest. So it'll be interesting.
That sounds good. So are you doing these live?
No, unless people want to see them live.
Yeah.
Well, either way, it sounds a lot of fun.
Yeah. So are you enjoying your wood turning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying the wood turning as well?
You are meant to be asleep. It's a great stress relief. I can say that one.
Hi guys.
Hiya.
Hiya.
Hi.
Nick says hi.
So you got anything to ask?
Yeah,
Stace?
well, I think Stacey, you should turning a segmented bowl. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and so like I love the way that I feel. So like the edges and the facets, and you're knocking them off first. So that's a lot of fun. Yeah, I say do the segmented one.
Seems to be everybody's favourite at the minute.
Yeah, they are a lot of fun to turn. Obviously, I get Leon from Would You Believe It. He sent me segmented. You know, you can get the kits, and he cuts the blocks out, and then he'll glue them up for me. Because for me to do all that, it'd probably take me the best part of like a year. But yeah, they're a lot of fun to turn, really are.
I'm expecting it to be a big learning curve for me. So I'm always eager to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go sleep.
So what other things have you been turning?
I'm just trying to think. Done loads of pens.
Yeah.
Done loads. Yeah, but you've done a few. You've done them all, are you?
So what is it about wood turning that you like?
The stress relief of it.
Yeah.
And the learning of it. So like you've had a hard day, you can just go in the workshop, shut off for a couple of hours, and then come out and you're like a new person.
Yeah. Stacey's a maker.
Stacey's a maker.
Definitely.
So are you sharing your lathe, Stacey, or are you getting your own one?
I'm currently sharing Nick's at the minute, which he ain't happy about.
Well, you're gonna have
It's
to
like, kind of like mini fights.
Yeah, arguing over the lathe. Yeah, it's like Valerie and Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of that going on now. So like women are sort of like giving their partners the heave ho and saying, step aside. I'll show you how it's done. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on at the minute. Yeah.
Steve Twidell says, when is Stace going to turn an off-centre double bowled goblet with 8 captive rings and a textured face?
Not yet.
2022.
Steve, have you done one of those? I think there's a video somewhere in that.
Definitely.
You still went really fine up there?
Double bowl, off-centered 8 ring.
Yeah. So when are you going to be doing the segmented bowl or the other project?
I've got a video for this week, so I'm looking for next week.
Right.
Get the video out for it next week.
Yeah. You'll have to let us know and then we can share the link and people can watch it. I know you've got a lot of people that watch your channel and Nick as well. But yeah, we'll look out for that.
Mm.
Right then. Well, it's 10 to 9.
10 to
so 9. I shall say thank you very much, Stace.
Is Ian still here?
No, he's got tech issues.
All right.
So thank you very much, Stace, for joining us. It's been lovely chatting with you and hearing about your project.
Yeah, very well done for putting up with Nick.
Thanks.
Well done. I know someone's got to. You know, yeah, you're doing a great job of keeping him in check. Well done. Well tried.
Thank you.
So yeah, please let us know. Drop us a message when you do get to do your segmented, and yeah, we'd love to come and listen to that. Well, I'll listen to it. Nicola can watch it, and then we'll give you lots of support. So thanks for dropping by. So yeah, everyone, it's Stace. Yeah, Stace Makes. We've got the wonderful Kurt over in the beautiful historic ancient island of Malta in the Mediterranean, 60 kilometers south of Sicily. We've got Ian that had to duck out because of technical issues. Yeah. Ian's a good friend, a great fellow. He was at Sittingbourne, and a great supporter of ours. Sorry, Ian. We'll have to reschedule.
I said we'll try again next time.
Yeah, we'll reschedule and definitely have you on again. That's a shame. Yeah, because we like you, Ian. It's a great home haunter. So right, big love to our special guest, Kurt, who's an amazing maker. Check out his channel, Instagram.
And look at his lovely leather stuff.
Yeah, sounds incredible. Give him all your love and support and help him to be even more of a success in everything that he's doing. Same goes for Stace Makes, relatively new to turning, but she's kicking it in the arse and having lots of fun. And she's also trying to kick Nick in the arse. So that's amazing. For those of you, hi Steve as well. Happy birthday, mate. Forgot to say that to you. For those of you that can make it to the Harrogate show this weekend, it's a 3-day event. Come and say hi to us at the Tormex stand. Yeah. We'd love to meet up with you. And with that being said, we're ready to go now. I've got to take my beautiful guide dog out for his ablutions. Yeah, I've already put the bin down. So until the next time, everybody, peace, big love.
Thank you to everybody. Catch you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Missing you already.
Yeah.
Bye.